Okay, good evening, everybody. This is the May 8th meeting of the 2017 meeting of the Nottingham Conservation Commission. I'm Sandra Merritt, I chair the commission. To my left is Susan Mooney, who is the secretary. To my right is Deborah Kimball, who is the vice chair. Next to her is Cheryl Smith, and next to her is Raylene Shippey Rice. And over to my far left is Liz Katowski, who is an alternate, who will be sitting in for somebody, probably Paul, I guess, or Kristen.
Well, I think Kristen's coming. So how about Paul unless he shows up?
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Couple of announcements. Let's see. I'll get into that later. We can get to that later. This is nothing really. Okay, so I'm gonna skip down to roadside cleanup report. We went out on a couple different days because we weren't able to finish up the first day. We collected, I believe, 23 bags of trash over the course of the 2 days that we were out there. The most unusual things I saw were the couple parts to a Honda that were apparently had been in an accident or something along the side there, and hopefully they just didn't toss them out there. Looking at, so we did a pretty good job there, and our next one will probably be in a couple months, possibly the end of June. I did look at the property, the Miriam Daggett property that the town owns with frontage on Freeman Hall Road and Priest Roads, and some of that looks pretty bad. And I was wondering if the members of the commission would like to get out there and just take a day and.
Did when I went home after trash pickup, the group from Bear Paw was walking, and they were across the road from the Kimball property.
Did they clean up that side too?
That's what I wondered.
Yes,
right.
yes, they said that they were
did.
going to do that.
Oh,
So they cleaned it up?
After they did the section on 152 that fronts the North River
They went to
Preserve.
Well, they were
Kimball
going up to
property.
do the Kimball property.
Yeah.
But
on
they did
Freeman.
across the road from the Kimball property. Is that the Miriam Daggett property? Where is that?
Yeah, that's the Miriam Daggett across
Right,
from the
that's what I
Kimball
thought,
on
right.
Freeman Hall.
And they were over, there was a group over there.
So they cleaned that up too?
I haven't looked to see if they picked it all up or what they
It
did.
didn't look that bad right in that section, but the section, essentially from Big Road down to the town recycling center is the part I was looking at. There's apparently a couple bags got tossed down there too.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
that was from recycling. I saw the big black bag that
Yeah,
was
there
there.
was a
But
black
most of
bag.
the
Yeah.
road has been picked
Oh,
up.
right, that was it, because when I was driving up from Stage Road, I saw bags along the side of the road and wondered if that was their bags
Pick up.
I
that they
don't
were
know.
coming back to pick up.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Oh,
sometimes
that could be.
people-
They had black bags.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Sometimes people do it on their own and don't have, we think about the blue bags, but I've seen white people doing it, not part of the state and do their own bags and they're
That
different
could have
color.
been.
But
Right.
for us,
Are those the
we
bags
could
you're
bring
talking
those to
about,
our
or the other
town
bags?
recycling
Well,
center wouldn't
I
accept
did
them.
notice 2 bags alongside, Freeman Hall Road.
Right.
And I thought maybe they'd fallen out of.
But I don't know where they would be
Right,
taking
that was
the
what I
trash.
thought too first, then I thought maybe
Because
it
our
was
town
their
wouldn't
bags,
take
they had left there planning to
bags
pick them
like
back
that.
up.
I can, when Dan gets here, we might be able to check with him to see if maybe they did clean, clean some more Freeman Hall Road.
Yeah.
Well, we weren't aware that they were gonna do.
And on a cleanup note, I had emailed this out. Let me see if I can. I don't know if anyone goes down to I walk down to the town beach. I walk my dog, and they rebuilt the bridge. The snowmobile trail is open, so you can just cross and go behind the dam and on that opposite side, which is, a lot of fishermen go there. And
Right.
that- I'm never sure where the town land ends and the vernal land begins. So is that little area, that's a camping, you know, they've had fires there for camping and all that, and then there's a big metal, there's a big metal, old garbage thing. I think sometimes people might burn in it too.
Deb, I have a map here. I saw what you wrote. I was
Yeah.
wondering if you could kind of indicate where it is, and I'll talk to some people at the
Okay.
PLIA tomorrow. And we'll follow
There
up
it
on that
is.
one.
So this
Can we
isn't
walk dogs
the
down there
greatest.
On the town beach property?
You do when it's not open,
Town beach?
Yeah, town beach is here.
so
Right
Oh, I-
there.
so it's
Yeah, if you
across
can-
the dam.
If you can put a mark on there, exactly where that is, that, I'm not
So-
exactly sure what you're,
So where do you cross the dam, Deb? Right across the spill, the little
Where the
spillway there?
spillway used to be?
Yeah, before the spillway, where there used to always be, there was always a bridge, a wooden bridge,
Oh,
and
I
it had
never paid
washed
attention to
away a long time, and then the last few years they fixed it up. So I think the snowmobile trail was active again, because it was really for the snowmobilers.
Okay.
So it's a snowmobile trail that goes from that part all the way down, and it crosses the two Fernal properties to the state park. And I've walked the trail, I used to ski on it. So it would be. There, I just put a black thing there.
okay, great. Yeah, I'll be doing some lake water quality monitoring in the morning with some of the PLIA board members, so I'll bring that to their attention.
So did you say that there was litter out there, Deb?
Yeah, there's a whole, I'm gonna show it too. Here's the garbage can, so it's right at the beach, I mean, it's right, not too far, I wouldn't say a
Okay.
beach, but it's at, right near the shoreline.
Okay.
So that, all that garbage could, see, here's the can, there's a metal can, can't see it very well.
Oh, yeah, oh my
And there's
God.
all, it's overflowing, so this is full, and this is all the trash around it.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a little
What
bit,
was
or I
the
would have
can?
brought some myself, but I
Looks
was
like
like,
a can for disposing your
so
your
literally
waste.
there's
Yeah, but
enough
who owns it? Who gets it
trash.
there?
I don't know if
Who
it's
manages
Fernals
that?
own that, or then they just let people
Let's see.
fish there, or I don't know.
Or is that a?
So it doesn't look, I mean, you know, it doesn't, there's more trash around it, so if you can, so behind, I know it's pretty dark, but there's the trash area.
Would Courtney know anything about that particular
So behind there,
location?
there's the
Maybe,
water right
yeah,
there,
I was
so
wondering
the
if
edge is
maybe
the
it's,
water, so. I mean, it's just
it's a
pretty
town,
nasty when you walk by, and there's a trail.
Yeah,
that
that's what
you
I'm
can
wondering.
walk on.
Town
Check with
thing,
her
and the
too.
town should be picking it up.
Yeah, that's a
Sometimes
good
you're better
thought.
off not even having a trash can. and just
Right,
having
yeah.
carry in,
Right,
carry out.
carry in, carry
I
out
think
is
a
a
little
good,
sign
yeah.
to say, maybe a reminder sign, but I don't, it's this quasi area that I'm never sure who really
Who is
owns it. Yeah, so.
All right, I'll
Is someone gonna
report back on
contact,
that then.
is someone gonna contact Courtney then on
I'll
that?
contact Courtney and the PLA.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, but when you look, it's mostly fishermen, like, you know,
Yeah.
plastic worm things and a lot of bottles and such. And
Yes, it's good that they
Beverages.
put them in there instead of on the ground.
What's that?
It's good that they put them in the barrel and not on the
Somebody
ground.
tried, and then it started overflowing, and I think they've been having too many get-togethers out there, perhaps.
And I just want to piggyback on the trash pickup. I had contacted a fellow at DOT to possibly put up some signs on 152 and Route 4 to ask for volunteers or someone to adopt a stretch of highway, but I have not heard back. So I'm going to give him a call again.
And since we're talking about trash, I'll just pass this around. The
town
PLIA
line,
did their
152.
section on April 22nd on Earth Day
Yeah,
cleanup.
there were a ton of people out there.
That's good.
How many bags did you get? Must have
I
been.
don't know, I wasn't out there for that one.
There were tons.
They only do that one twice a year, so.
This is the 156 one?
Yeah.
or-
Yeah, 156.
I do know of another resident on the
Where
lake who
white
goes out
family-
there.
well, essentially
Picks
Is
it
it
up in
French
between
Little
times.
House.
just because she likes to
French
walk.
Road down to the town
But
line.
it's not an official cleanup.
I was
Okay,
saying to
where's
Sam when we
White's,
were doing it.
what do
that
White's go
You
from
would
that
We could
over?
get everyone
Well, from
in
French
town
up
to
to
just
the
do
square.
their piece
Okay,
of
got it.
property.
Do their piece of property.
That's, you know, and, you know, it would be great all over town.
Yeah, it doesn't have, well, we'll have
I know.
to really come
Yeah.
up with a strategy for
Well, it is
building that
amazing what
awareness.
people-
If we had
Get to
a
the dump
targeted
or the
outreach
transfer
effort
station.
towards people that eat fast food, drink beer cans, and smoke cigarettes, because that's what all the trash is.
Most of us.
Yeah.
And the little nips.
Cigarettes.
Yeah,
The
yep.
little nips, those are probably the four things that
Mm-hmm.
most of it is.
Mm.
Keep your trash in the car.
Yeah.
Okay, let me move down to correspondence.
Do you have an extra?
Okay, we have a notice of intent to cut on Jabig Road, map 18, lot 3-3 and 3-4. Acreage of lot is 51.5 acres. The acreage of the
I'm
cut
sorry,
is
Sam, map
18,
lot.
lots 3-3 and 3-4.
51.5 acres.
And
does it
it's
say
a
how much they're-
51.5 acre lot, and they're doing 40 acres.
Ah, pretty
Didn't we get another thing for that same property?
I don't think Jabig.
Okay.
Yes,
It doesn't, unless it was one that I wasn't here for.
Okay.
I don't remember.
Well,
There was Deerfield Road and Stevens Hill.
or was there a wetlands permit on Jabig?
They usually go through the Division of Forest and Lands anyway.
Mm-hmm.
We don't, as a rule, see those. We get the,
If no one else
the
remembers
others,
it,
yeah.
it's.
Well, I'm gonna look it up because I think it may be the one that borders.
Right,
It backs
because
up-
I thought we had
backs up
already,
against the North River.
yeah, I
Yeah,
thought
we
we,
had
Oh, I
another-
remember talking about
We had
that.
another intent to cut on that, and one of the reasons we
right,
spoke about potentially watching that is because there was a beaver dam that was destroyed adjacent to that property.
And I had put a little draft thing together as a draft letter to send out to people who might infringe on wetland resources. But,
Right, and there were several wetlands on that besides
Yeah.
abutting the
but the draft letter just kind of
river.
was,
I think
didn't
I
go
sent
anywhere.
something back to you on that.
Anyway, it's owned
Saying
by
that it
the,
needed a little
apparently
upkeep.
owned by the Drapers. It's
yeah, but I didn't know, I didn't get any direction, so I couldn't know what
31
to do.
Jabig Road, and it's being done by Dalton Mountain
That's
Forest.
31, you said?
31 Jabig Road.
Okay.
And that's lot 33-3, and then 3-4 is the adjoining lot.
so this is an additional intent to cut,
No,
The
that's
same
the
one.
one.
same one,
Yeah.
okay. So is this, the same notice?
It must
Well,
be.
one notice for the two lots, you know.
And what did you say about 31 Jabig Road, Sam? And then it's Dalton who's doing the cut, right?
Yeah, Dalton.
That's the owner's name. That's the address of the owner,
Yeah.
31 Chebig.
That's, you know, they're probably going in from one of the two lots. They're very, it looks like, one of them has, 331 feet frontage, and the other about 200 feet frontage.
Is it owned by the same person?
Yeah, apparently. These two lots here.
So 500
This
feet
is-
of
this is-
frontage
this is
with
the wet area
70
here.
acres.
No, it's 50,
No, it's 51, and they're cutting
50.
40.
51 and a half. They got
51 and a half,
30
okay.
20 and a half there, and 31 and
Okay.
0.04 there. And cutting 40, so probably most of the
Back area.
But it does border the North River, so.
What does it say right down here? Oh,
Emailed
emailed,
to
okay,
D-
to DRA, okay.
And that's an acknowledge of receipt of notification. Is this an
This
approval
this
letter?
is, this is another one. This is something else.
Oh, sorry.
This is the one I just looked at.
Okay.
The other one is a complete forestry notification for Applehurst Farm LLC, care of Erica Martell of 222 Nottingham Square Road, in Epping. To acknowledge the wetlands minimum impact forestry notification for work in Nottingham tax map, lot 65 and 65/3 and 4, I believe it is.
What was the map, Sam? I got the lots, but I didn't get the map.
One of them is 65. It doesn't say.
What about the map?
Was it?
It says 65, and it says 66/3/4.
Oh,
So this should be tax map 65, and then 66, 3 and 4.
This. This one is, these two lots here. So,
So the property's mostly in Epping and it cuts into a little bit of Nottingham, is that?
well, this is the Harvey
Mm-hmm.
property, I believe, Everly's family, Harvey property. These are the two lots they're cutting, and I don't know why.
Sam, can I see that intended cut?
This one? Okay, I also have something from Rockingham County Conservation District. They're just looking for information, a little questionnaire on the back side of the card. Please select which role describes you, which is Conservation Commission. I'll check that off. Which town do you live in? This is Nottingham. Well, it says, please pick and rank the 5 most natural resource concerns or issues, with one being the highest, and they have about 10 items here: soil health, wildlife, invasive plants and insects, open space preservation, pollinator and insect habitat, health of surface waters, agricultural sustainability, forestry, stormwater management, wetlands, and other.
We had to rank the top 5.
Yeah.
So to put our number 1, we all just like see that,
Yeah.
so that we can write them down.
They do have the invitation from Bear Paw for the breakfast in the barn that was held.
How did it go?
They got into,
Exceeded their,
exceeded their goal, and they
Awesome.
raised the 30,000.
One of the things that,
Part of that, maybe 5,000 of it was for the sponsorships, but, another 25 at the banquet itself.
one of the things that came up at that you probably all know about, that I wasn't aware of, was the report of the Nature Conservancy to the legislature in 2014, I think. And Mark Danko was giving sort of a brief
Yeah.
overview. And I wondered if maybe we should look at that, because it's by county as well,
Yeah.
in terms of, and one of the things he said was, everyone's done a great job with forest preservation, but not a lot has been done around clean water. And wondered if maybe we shouldn't look and see what's the report says about our county or about Nottingham. I mean, I hadn't seen it before, and so I had him send me a copy I
Oh,
took out
did-
my computer
did-
tonight.
Electronic copy?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe you can just share that.
Share it with
That would be great,
everybody.
Raylene.
Send it out to me,
Take a
great.
look, take a look at it, and see if there's anything there for us to look.
Yeah.
Well, one of theirs is the health of surface waters, one
Mhm.
of the pieces, so that will be obviously one of our main ones.
Well, this is the conservation district, right, that you're talking about right now?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we have to rank them, so I think we just need to be, I mean, we're not all gonna agree, so this could take all night with rank. It's easier just to come up with 5, and maybe Sam, we just do, we'll talk and then throw the baton to you to do the final
Another
ranking.
option is I could take that home, scan it, and send it
And
to
everybody,
everybody, and then they could just
Sam.
send their
We
Yeah.
could send our
That's a good
choices.
idea.
That's a
top,
good idea.
the
Yeah.
top ones to Sam, and he can.
Okay.
Yep, that's a
Assemble
good
it.
thing to do.
Yeah,
I just wanna go
Afterwards.
back to
I
this
have mine.
intent to cut on map 18 lot 3-3 and 3-4.
Yep.
We got that notification 12/12/16,
Yeah, back in December.
but I don't see anything there saying that that is a revamping of that, or that it was resubmitted or something like that. I know that it did go to the Board of Assessors, because there's a date up there that says BOA, like 4/10.
Yeah.
So I'm just curious as to why we're getting it again.
Well, they only last for a year, because when we did our particular
Okay.
timber improvement,
Then that explains
The
it,
time
because
ran
they were
out,
supposed to
we had
do
to-
it this winter, and they
yes,
did not do
now,
it this winter.
now it's winter 18,
Okay.
okay. So they're looking at doing it next winter?
yeah, or completing,
Yeah, completely,
They haven't,
okay.
I can tell you they haven't done anything.
they haven't done
It's too
anything.
wet.
At least not that I could hear, and I
Well,
certainly.
right now it would be too wet to get in there or do anything.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It dries out.
I think it says on there that they have to do between
Certain
January and
times.
March, doesn't it?
Certain winter, can't do it in the middle of summer probably. It's a wet- if it's-
It says winter 2018 is when they anticipate the start.
Okay,
So,
yeah,
probably winter.
It's just easier to get
17,
the equipment
18.
out anyway.
Right.
yeah.
When the ground is frozen.
Okay, that explains why.
Or
it
you
came
get
up
that,
in-
Liz, I need
Okay,
it, because I
That
haven't
solves the
seen it
mystery
yet
too,
to write
'cause
up
was
about
a
it.
sticky note.
Okay, everyone else has seen it, so.
What else do we have?
Or someone could just take a picture of it. I already wrote my stuff down, but people could just
Oh,
take a
okay.
picture of it and rank it.
Okay.
something.
Got a flyer from the Forest Society, 2017 events and reminders for owners of conservation land.
Thank you.
They're having a heron rookery springtime birding, Friday, May 26th, 8:30 to 10:30, in Hopkinton at the Meadows End Timberlands. It's a great blue heron rookery. August 5th, they're doing the Lead Town Forest Exploration from 9 to 12 noon. Where are we? Yeah. On Saturday, August 26th, they're doing a farm tour along the Merrimack, the Brookford Farm in Canterbury. It's a 580-acre farm. Hike in the Lakes region, Saturday, September 30th, from 9 to noon. The Trust Homestead Forest in Ashland for a quick, steep, scenic hike with stunning vistas to
Quick
Winona.
and steep don't go together.
Yeah. Maybe a short.
Leisurely steep walk.
And then October 15th, they have the annual gathering of conservation easement landowners from 9 to 1, hosted by Nancy and Charlie Mitchell at their conservation property in
They
Youngstown.
want their response by today.
Anyone interested?
Okay.
Do you think they care?
We can probably
I
all
mean,
just come up with
Just
that,
say the
right?
turnaround time, you'll get it out, when can you get it out, Liz?
I'll do it when I go home.
Okay. The ranking form from the RCCD, they want our reply by today. So Liz will get that out to you tonight when she gets home.
Actually, here's another
Or
idea.
could we just raise our hand? Like if we, like could
What?
we do it by hands? Oh, no, because we have to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah.
Well, we can,
Well, maybe we can just
do,
go around.
just, do you
and
want to read
Right.
through the list? And we,
Yeah.
some of them are just
What about
no-brainers.
everybody
The
does a
most
little-
hands get 1, you know?
Okay.
All
Here we
right.
go.
I'll read them
Sorry,
all
Sam.
first,
Yeah.
and then I'll read them again for response.
I'll do a little, yeah.
So that, okay, soil health, wildlife, habitat restoration, invasive plants, insects, etc. Open space preservation, pollinator and insect
A little slower,
habitat.
Liz, I can't write that fast.
Oh, I was just gonna read them, and then
Okay.
then I'll read them again slowly, and then you can,
Oh,
this is just to give you an idea of what's on them. Pollinator and insect habitat, health of surface waters, agricultural sustainability, forestry, stormwater management, wetlands, and other. So, how about soil health?
There was an
Anybody?
ag sustainability, wasn't there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, agricultural sustainability is one of them.
So you're gonna read through them again?
Yeah, I'll read through them
Okay.
again.
Somebody didn't
This
care
will be a
about
very
that.
imprecise way of doing
Just
it.
raise our hands.
Soil health,
Stormwater. Soil health.
wildlife, habitat restoration.
That's restoration?
And that's what it says in
Okay.
parentheses, habitat
Yeah,
restoration.
habitat restoration.
Invasive plants, insects,
Oh, we're
etc.
not.
You gotta say that one.
Is anyone writing down the numbers?
No?
Okay, I'll put three, how many, raise your hand?
Let's just start again.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, start again.
Soil health,
None.
wildlife, and then parentheses, habitat restoration.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Got it.
Invasive plants, insects, etc.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Open space preservation.
1, 2,
Well, we can only vote for 5,
4,
right?
5, 6.
3.
Pollinator and insect habitat.
4.
4.
Health of surface waters.
I put my hand up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Agricultural sustainability.
3? Or, is that 3?
Forestry. Stormwater management
2?
2.
and wetlands. I might have. raised my
1,
hand
2,
more than
3,
five
4, 5, 6, 7.
For everything?
7.
times. Yeah.
So what are the high ones?
So we have two
Yeah, I'll give this back.
7s, wetlands and stormwater, headlands, and then, and then 2 6s.
Stormwater was only 2.
I thought you said
And then 1
7.
5.
So those would be the top 5.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Do they wanna rank them one? So wetlands versus stormwater
Wetlands.
headwaters.
I thought there were only 2.
I thought only 2 people voted for stormwater
No, that was
management.
surface water.
Surface
Yeah,
water.
surface water was a
Right.
big one.
Surface water, what's the name of it? Health of surface waters. Health of surface waters. So, do we wanna put, which one do we wanna put first?
Say the
Wetlands.
2? Wetlands and surface
Wetlands
waters?
versus health of, okay, so who wants wetlands to go first?
Me. Because that would include surface waters.
That's what I was wondering. Are they
It's
the
also
same
one of
things,
the
or
most
what's the difference?
underrepresented.
Including
Well, if
vernal
it's not one
pools.
on there, it'll be 2, so,
Okay.
right.
All right, so wetlands 1 and surface waters 2.
2. Mhm.
Okay.
And then we had open space and invasive plants. I feel like invasive plants is such a big problem. Although I know open space is important, but I really would push for,
Well, you get the invasives on the roads, so if you have big blocks of open space, then you don't get roads going in, bringing invasive species. That's generally how that goes.
so 3 open space, people agree with that?
Mm-hmm.
And then 4 invasive,
Invasives. Mhm.
and then 5 is wildlife habitat restoration.
Sounds good.
Yeah, and that can include bugs too.
And that would include forest, because forest was one
You-
of them.
Yeah,
but you did
yeah, and you can't
wildlife.
manage one
Actually, I
without
think,
the other too, so.
I
Pollinators
think
was
more, I wish it
important.
was just wildlife and not habitat restoration.
Well, that was in parentheses, so maybe if we
Yeah.
just,
Well, that's why I didn't vote for it initially, because it was habitat restoration, I feel like.
Okay, and then it says.
I'm for
do we have-
conservation, not-
Please describe what you feel is the most important specific area of concern in Rockingham County. For example, the health of Great Bay, habitat loss, or other.
Development pressures,
Habitat loss.
yeah,
Habitat loss.
habitat loss.
Noise,
yeah, habitat loss, I would. agree.
Mhm.
noise.
Need
Much
to
of
go
that is
up
due
instead
to-
of out.
Is there
encroachment and development.
Is there anything you would like to add about the natural resources in Rockingham County?
Close the doors.
How about light pollution and noise?
What was the first one?
Light pollution,
And what was the other one?
noise. Noise, like
Oh, noise, yes, okay.
roadway
Right.
noise and
Light pollution,
airplanes.
definitely.
Like,
Yeah, it's never talked about.
I think protection for wetlands, protection for vernal pools is pretty big, because there
Yeah.
isn't protection, but.
and that would be under the wetlands there, which I
Yeah,
think was
but
number
I'm
2.
It's
not sure
not.
that it's
They don't
not the way
count
it's
it.
worded.
They don't put it
Oh,
in with them.
okay.
That's
Sam's
why I
writing
was
in.
saying
Yeah.
vernal
Yeah.
pools next
He'll
to
write it in.
wetlands.
That's the real kicker.
Yeah.
If they
Put
have
that
Okay.
under, the most important, and then, we'll put vernal pool.
Okay.
Wanna write
At
turtles?
least make a statement for it,
Yeah.
because a lot of people, a lot of
Save our
commissions
turtles.
maybe don't-
How'd our little
I'll
guy
think of
do?
it, maybe.
Not so good?
Yeah, they're not.
rank
they're
it highly, but
more
you're right.
interested in,
Her skull was crushed.
What?
Oh, was this a,
Sue
I
found
picked up a spotted
turtle.
yesterday.
oh,
Okay.
Thank you, Zoe, for taking
Yeah,
it.
of course, yeah. She would have, turtles have slow metabolism, so it would have
Are
been,
you,
Take a while to go.
are you working with it, or did you bring it to the weather center?
the center, yeah, definitely.
Okay,
Next,
next, we don't have the minutes, so we'll do those another time. Dan still hasn't shown up, I don't know what happened to him.
I do have minutes, but we can talk about other things.
Okay.
Like Kristen, I know, has some things to bring up. and-
Okay, let me, I was just at the LRWA meeting, and
Lamprey River Watershed Association.
Association, yeah. They've taken their equipment to DES for checkout today. Andrea's going to do training on Saturday, May 20th, at the Mill Street Bridge in Epping at 10 o'clock.
Who's
Yeah.
Andrea? Is she
Yeah.
the intern?
No, she's the one that's been in charge of the project for the Lamprey River
Oh,
Watershed Association.
okay.
Um,
So she's not with the state, she's with Lamprey River.
Yeah, she volunteers for.
Okay.
Well, actually, and she does get some remuneration for her work, so.
May 20th.
And,
At 9 AM or something?
no,
What time?
10 o'clock.
10.
She figures it'd be about an hour, if anybody wants to join her on that.
That
And
would be
then, for those that can't make it on Saturday, she's probably gonna do one on Wednesday, the 24th, at 4:30. And if it's raining that day, she'll probably push it back to the 25th or whatever is.
And where was the location again, Sam?
The Mill Street Bridge in Epping,
Where's that?
I don't know. Epping.
Maybe, I wonder if
Send
they'll
us
be
our
sending
hours.
things out, if they could send if you,
Put a little map.
yeah, with a map, who's the director now?
Don't have an
don't
executive
have an
director.
executive,
We've,
okay.
they've interviewed, one person. They've got another, resume from a person living in Stratford. That, looks like a pretty decent resume, and the treasurer is going to meet with her, try to meet with her sometime this week, and then, send the rest of us, what he thinks of her qualifications. And the first person we met to was pretty savvy. He's been involved in legislative work down in Washington, working for Senator Markey at times and working for somebody else down there. And,
Wow.
he's pretty good head on his shoulders. I met with him for an hour and a half Monday.
Impressed you?
Huh?
He impressed you?
Yeah.
So who's the contact person then? I mean, I used to just contact Dawn, but she's not with the group, so,
It's either me or Carl.
okay.
Carl
Oh.
who?
Need to ask him.
His wife is in the legislature,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Carl.
Spang.
Spang, that's right.
Note to the file, Saturday, May 20th is also the PLIA, Pawtuckaway Lake
Oh,
Improvement
okay.
Association Annual Meeting from 9 to noon that morning. That, yeah.
Where is it?
It's going to be here at the town offices. It's always been at the school before, but this time it's gonna be just in the gym here.
Multi-purpose room.
Do you have a
Multi-purpose room.
speaker coming in, Liz, or no?
There'll be different speakers and there'll be breakout groups, including our own Paul Miliotis is going to lead a breakout group. He did that last year,
Yeah, good.
and he's been brought back by
Popular
acclaim.
demand.
Yes.
Yeah, it's good.
He's gonna talk about the birds, anything with wings
Yeah.
on Pawtuckaway.
Yeah.
Wings
Wings.
and dragonflies,
Yeah, we'll
birds
talk
and
a little bit
dragonflies.
about dragonflies, 'cause the lake is kind of neat.
Okay, now, you said the other people had, nobody talked, talking about trails.
Yes, Deb and I and Liz, we're talking about the Trail Finder program. Did you want to talk about what you had mentioned earlier?
Yeah, I just thought we should start and just find out who's already planning to do some of the work for the trails in Nottingham. For example, you know, I can contact the state park and find out, are they planning to post the trails that are within the state park on there? Because there's nothing for Nottingham yet,
Wow, not even Pawtuckaway?
not even Pawtucket.
Really?
Right.
You would
So
think
it's
that'd be a
like,
no-brainer.
Who's gonna take the lead on that?
Wow.
When I talked with Dwayne Hyde I was on a walk with him a few months ago, he said that that CELT would be taking the lead on any properties that they were involved with. So, they haven't put anything up for Nottingham, but we can double check with him on that, or maybe Sam wants to do that. But I'm happy to ask him again. And Dan, when he comes, we could ask him about Bear Paw. You know, do they have plans already? I just want to be sure that we're not
Right.
duplicating efforts on this. And then, of course, we've got the town trails, like the ski trail that you had mentioned, Deb.
Yeah, well, actually, it was a Boy Scout Eagle project that has resurrected that trail. Because it was in somebody else had done a fitness trail there, and then an Eagle Scout has revamped the equipment, and so if anyone's gone on it, you just go behind just walk out that way, and behind the play area, start there, and he's got a little sign, start, and, pull-ups here, and balance beam there, and you just follow it, and
Along the river here?
and then you turn and go along the river if that's not flooded out. But yeah, so that area, there's a little bridge that they built. So they did a really nice, that part's a very,
Across the river?
no, no,
Oh,
no,
okay,
no,
okay.
no,
Okay,
no,
I was like,
just-
how'd they do that?
no, a little bridge, because there's a little watery area, because you know how there's the wet floodplain kind of, which kind of infiltrates through that area. So at any rate, so it's a short little trail, but you can go straight for a while, but then it gets a little quasi, because I'm never sure, where does the town property end and where does someone else's, because it used to be a right-of-way.
Yeah.
But then if you walk all the way to the end, it's like no trespassing on either side, and there's a big mound of dirt. And so, but the beginning, I think, is still the town property, I guess, and then it kind of ends. So it's like everything else. You never know where those boundaries are. So yes, it would be good to look that up, of where does the town property end there on that little Class 6 little road? Because it used to be open. I guess way back, the kids would just walk from, when this was a school, that's what all the kids would do back there, is they would just take that little road.
Little field trips.
Or
And I assume it's not marked, no trespassing, so.
the road at the beginning is not marked no trespassing, then it gets a little dicey at the very end, because the people on either side put no trespassing signs. I think because maybe they had trouble with people fishing or whatever, they didn't
Yeah.
want them on them. So if you stay right on the road, I think that's still a town
Oh, okay.
right away, is what I believe. Although there's a big pile of dirt at the end, so you can't just cross over to, it's not quite McCrillis, it's a road off of McCrillis. But at any rate, but the trail that they have done would be a very short trail, that's what I'm just saying, it's nothing big. but it's a short trail, it's a fitness trail, it's something, you
Yeah.
know, and it's behind the town office, and so it's public, so, at any rate.
Okay, let me
This
just,
would be a work in progress, you know?
Yeah.
Pick a couple to start with, and then, I mean, it'd be really great if we could get the dirt roads, trails in Mulligan map.
Yeah, yeah.
okay, the town apparently owns back to here, anyway. 34 is different.
Okay.
So-
Yeah.
So we got this piece here.
That
and then
piece.
And then this back here.
And so they own all the way to there. Okay, that is interesting. Yep. Okay.
This is, it's private, I don't know whether.
Mhm.
Oh, for crying out.
You think
I
they
wonder if
put
this is
the
Bascom's.
dirt there to keep ATVs
Yeah,
and other?
probably for
Yeah,
driving
it's
through.
Probably they're having a problem with
Right.
people looking
Folks
for
driving
places
it,
to.
And then
Yeah,
this would
is
be,
Fran and Rodney's piece probably, and then this is another Bascom.
yeah, that would be Teresa and Michael.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but there are, right, folks, I think maybe it starts here that people post, and it could even be here that the people post on this side. And then I've probably gone as far as here, because then there's another trail that goes out. And so there's a trail that cuts through, for those folks, there's a little trail they have. But then the trail just goes up. So that's good to know. Yeah, I mean, it goes on until you hit the dirt pile. So it's a nice little walk and it's a nice ski.
That's with Emma? Did Emma
This must be
retain
the.
it?
That's part of that association.
Shell off.
Yeah, they own that to protect their wells.
Thanks for taking that up, that's awesome.
So
They
Liz, you're
say
gonna
a
contact
well
the state
protection
people,
area.
state park people.
Yeah,
Okay.
and we'll ask Dan when he's here, I can check in again with Dwayne,
Okay,
to see what their plans are for,
And how they want to mark, because we could use, you know, walk these trails with a GPS and then upload them to.
exactly, yeah. When I was just talking to Tom Howe, he said, well, they've got like shape files that they could send us. I mean, if Crystal were able to jump in and help with some mapping for us on this, that could be helpful. I don't know what she has for a computer with the resources to deliver on that, but that would be, she has at least more experience than most of us.
good evening.
Hi, Dan.
How are you? Did I make you wait?
No,
No, we had
We
Plenty
just
to talk
filled in
about.
with some other
I
things.
figured you had a lot.
But we
Ton of
just
stuff to
mentioned
do.
your name.
Oh,
Most of it good. Okay.
We were talking about the Trail Finder program
Oh.
and trying to assess whether our, you know, which of our partners were planning to do the mapping or take the lead on
Like their
posting
properties.
things on that for
yeah.
our town,
The
so we
North
don't
River.
duplicate effort.
Property.
Are you planning to use that app?
We'd like to, we just haven't done anything yet.
Yeah, we haven't decided whether we're gonna do that or not,
Okay.
to be honest. You know, cause one of our big interests is being able to show our properties. And, you know, trails are really a small part of what we, you know, have under our control. And so, I've tried to encourage them to allow us to post the property lines and stuff, because for us, that's the biggest part. And, you know, we just don't have that many trails yet, and so, and they said they weren't able to do that, so we're looking at other ways to post them.
Okay.
When there are trails, I mean, do they get maintained, or does somebody have to keep them cleared and open?
Like-
Probably.
For the North River, that trail that we have, the little trail we have there. So if we wanted to do that, we could do that.
You mean, is there a qualifying, like, does that app
Well, I was
have
just
a
wondering, 'cause she
qualifying
said that there
component?
had been one there, and then this Eagle Scout kind
No,
of.
this is a different one. This
Oh,
is the
oh,
one
it's a
across the
different
road.
Yeah, the cross the
Oh, one on
the North River,
this is
yeah.
Bear
North
Paw.
River.
Oh,
That was
right,
developed
that trail.
by
Right.
guys.
Yeah, and if you folks are gonna get involved in it, we'd be happy to help you get, the properties that we have in Nottingham on it.
Okay.
That would be great.
Because we do have that digitized already, so it'd be fairly easy to get it loaded.
Okay, okay. So the North River property.
And the Kimball property doesn't have any trails on it.
No, we
Right.
talked about doing something.
That's a game trail.
Speaking of that, did the group from, was it Fidelity? Whatever it was.
Oh, Liberty.
Liberty Mutual, right? Did they clean up on the other side of Freeman Hall Road too?
I don't know, they may have because they were running out of things to do.
Because
So,
there were a couple black bags, just left on the side there.
oh, yeah, then that wouldn't have been us.
Oh, okay.
'Cause Kathleen brought everything back to the office.
Okay,
I can check with her to make sure.
because I noticed it was kind of trashy, especially from the town recycling center up
They might have fallen off of someone's truck.
to the Dial, to
I think
the
that's
big
where
road.
a
And
lot of trash comes from.
but, they were saying that it looked fairly clean up, on the Miriam Daggett property, across from the Kimball property on Freeman Hall
Okay.
Road.
Yeah, I wasn't out there, so I'm not sure exactly what they covered.
Okay.
That
A lot of
area does
workers,
get
though.
really trashy, though. When Raylene and I were sampling there, remember, we picked up a bunch of trash. And actually, I went on a bear paw walk, over there, the one step at a time thing. Picked
Okay.
up a bunch of trash
Yeah.
in that area too. Just seems to collect with people going to the recycling
Freeman
center.
Hall's a cut through, I think, from Route 4 to 1
Yeah, probably that too.
2, so.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a lot of stuff.
Like Smoke Street and Kelsey Road.
Picked up a
Walk
bunch.
in,
Yeah.
yeah,
It is
pick up
lovely.
one walk.
There's people, when they see no houses, they dump their trash, unfortunately.
Shall we bring Dan on?
Sure.
Yeah, sorry about my outfit, I just got out of baseball.
Quite all right.
No, my son plays. So where do you wanna start?
Where do we want to start? Yeah, you were working up some prices for the Tenneco property.
Yeah, do you wanna start there, or, Kennard? Are we gonna talk about that?
I can do that one too, yeah.
Yeah, well,
Well, with Kennard, we had prices before, I don't know
yeah,
Have they changed?
if they changed anything.
no, they didn't change.
Okay.
We
Just
tried to
review
keep
that.
them from changing.
Okay.
We run into too many problems when they do. Sam had mentioned that the commission was considering restarting that.
Yeah, I think we have enough money in the fund now that we can do that one
Get that.
and then
Kennard.
supply John with some money for his.
It's beneficial for us to finish that.
The Kennard's been kind of languishing for a while,
Yeah.
so we
It's
should
been
Yeah.
do that one
for,
first.
up to a couple of months.
Yeah,
no, he had
so I think
called
it's
us once
time.
or twice in the past to check to see if. we
Yeah,
could-
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's been, yeah,
It's
it's been a
time.
while, right?
It's time.
Because of the RV and
Yeah,
Switzer.
right.
Well, we have
Yeah.
these other projects going on in the south
Yeah.
part of town.
But I think
we're-
that should be first in the queue to get, that should go above Trinyanko since that's been sitting
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Okay. And the plan was to have the property surveyed if we can't find one
Mhm.
on record, is that still?
Are we on Trinyanko?
No,
Kennard.
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 Kennard, okay.
Dan, do you happen to have the map and lot number for Kennard right there? So I don't have to look it up.
Computer somewhere.
Find it.
I thought there was a survey for Kennard.
It looks like map 11 lot 6. Does that sound right?
And 30-something acres,
34.1.
34.1, thank you.
Tax map that I have.
This one.
What was the map number?
11,
11-6,
lot 6.
lot 6.
But yeah, we can get started on that.
Yeah, okay, yeah, okay. Let's listed under the town of Nottingham already on this one. This goes back a couple of years, so.
Yeah, it's been a bit.
Yeah, it's been
Yeah.
a while.
And do you have a recent amount of money this was gonna cost?
It's the same as it was, but this is the
12.5.
the reprint of it. Yeah, it was 12.5 is what we figured, and that's based on an estimate of the survey.
Okay.
30.
Which might
Lost
be-
it almost. I
Yeah,
remember there
there's
was
some-
12 something, so you
there's
just
some
said
quirky
12.5.
little
Yeah.
So,
corners on it. I don't know if you've seen the map.
Yeah, I did see that.
And I'm not sure how well it's laid out at this point. I've walked,
Didn't we walk that one?
yeah, we walked it once, and getting it.
So the way we price these generally is, the fees to Bear Paw are just set fees based on an estimate of the projects that we do, and then the survey would be billed at cost, along with legal fees and, the other, recording fees and stuff, so those might be lower or higher depending on,
Okay.
what we actually incur, and generally, our legal expenses tend to come in below the estimate, and the survey will depend on who's interested in doing it. Hopefully, Pete Landry will hopefully be interested in doing it. He's usually pretty affordable.
No, we haven't had a public hearing yet in order to spend this money from the conservation fund, have we?
Oh, I think,
No, we haven't.
So we'll need to do that in order to,
Yeah, we had the public hearing to buy the property,
but to expend any money from the conservation
I know
fund.
that, but
Yeah.
I'm just thinking
Yeah.
that this was so long ago, I thought that this had come up.
I thought we had done that.
We
I don't,
purchased the property.
we
I
purchased
know
it.
that.
So we voted to purchase it, but we never voted to spend the money in the conservation funds. I don't know, I thought.
Yeah, it would have been a long time. I mean, the last budget I have is from 2013.
Mhm.
13?
2013.
Huh,
Yeah,
4 years ago.
I
4
think
years
it
ago.
might be worth going back to the minutes to
So
find
it's
out.
a ways back.
Yeah, see if we have.
Do you have a month there, or is just 2013?
I think it's
Sue was trying to figure out how much work she's gonna have.
So June 30th I have, so it would have been probably just before the meeting, and I would have come here, or at least known the project existed. I can't remember if I came here or not.
I can also ask Dawn to check back on their minutes for the Board of Selectmen, too.
Yeah, we may not have, because it was not, it kept getting pushed back.
I remember that we had listed it as one of the expenses that we had projected to come out
Yeah,
of the fund when we were doing our
Mhm.
quarterly
yeah,
BOS meeting.
yeah, I don't think we did have an actual, because we were waiting
right.
to make sure
Okay.
we had the money.
All right, so I'll have to do that.
Okay.
Okay, I'll check on that.
And then, Ternenko, I came up with this estimate here. This is based on our current fee structure, and there are some estimates in there for attorney fees, although that might not be applicable. So this would be a town-held easement, right?
Yeah.
And, I wasn't sure if you contemplated Bear Paw having any interest in it, or an executory interest, or
Yeah, I guess that would be, whether you'd like to have an executory interest in it.
I don't think it's
You don't think it's
that
necessary?
important. If Dawn expresses an interest in
Yeah.
having that back up there, maybe, but
Okay.
it's completely up to you.
Mm.
So these are the fees that we would normally charge for doing projects.
Mhm.
And, it'd be about the same amount of work, and we'd have to forego doing our own stuff, a project for ourselves, so.
Okay.
And that would include, managing the project from
Yeah.
start to finish.
Okay.
Present,
And his doesn't need a survey?
It may
To be
determined.
determined.
I think
That's
it
the one
might.
question mark, depending on how much work they do on his, NRCS easement.
I think it,
Ideally, they would survey the whole property and just exclude a portion of it.
Yeah,
And then we could use that excluded portion for the easement, for the town, but,
But
I'm
their
not sure.
borders might, I mean, they might give you maybe 2 sides or 3 sides of this parcel, and then they wouldn't have to.
Yeah, and
Well-
that's a possibility, although my experience has been is that the NRCS usually works with really expensive surveyors.
Could we get Pete again, or try to?
Maybe.
I'm just saying, but you could use that, whatever they survey on the border sides of this.
Yeah, and I completely sympathize with you, but if we brought another surveyor in there, they would redo the whole thing, so it'd almost be as if there was no existing survey work. It's a strange way. The only way you can really save money is if we were able to get a good price from the folks who did the work on the property.
And is peat less expensive than brule?
He was, he was competitive, but Tom's passed away.
Oh, I actually didn't know that.
Yeah, unfortunately, for him and for us, because he was the best guy that we had out there.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, a couple of years ago.
Dan, I have a question. Is this a mis,
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
I was just
started
gonna
with that.
speak to that.
I apologize.
It says Kenneth Lot up in the,
Beach
above the
SC.
line. I know, you jumped right out of your chair.
where are you looking at?
Oh, yeah,
And we had said that we were gonna do the easement
Should be
monitoring
Chenenko.
on that, 'cause we already did
Oh,
that.
yes.
On the Chenenko one.
Got it.
Turning
Yeah.
post.
Where is it?
And that's a variety of different lots, isn't it?
It's several lots, and that's why it probably needs to be
Well,
surveyed.
well,
Yeah.
there's,
What's your reference?
it's one lot, but there are 2 other easements
Okay.
on that lot.
Right, yeah, it was a complicated thing, that's why we were unsure of how many acres were even,
he seemed unsure.
Do you know how many acres are gonna be left?
Well, it would be, with this, everything on that lot will be in an easement. 2 of them are with NRCS, one of them is the rabbit habitat project.
Right.
And the other is the wetlands easement.
Yeah.
And then, I think there's about 16 acres,
That would be left, that would be added to your.
yeah.
Right,
So
so
is
it
this-
doesn't qualify for the rabbit habitat and isn't really wetlands, so it's.
Yeah, this is.
Is this the field? Is this the garden?
Yeah, this is the
Okay.
field.
Open
Okay.
space, yeah.
And, yeah, he didn't wanna go through NRCS because he wanted to
The
be able to
mowing.
cut his field whenever
Yeah.
he wanted to cut his field.
Yeah. So it's about 30 acres? Do you remember how much it was?
And I think he also
Was it
wanted
really?
to have the option at some point in the future, if someone wanted to farm it, to be able to.
They wanted to keep
Mhm.
it still
Mhm.
farm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
keep
Goats
it
or
in
something.
agriculture. Do
Right.
you remember how large it was in acreage,
I don't.
Dan?
I thought it was 30, because I thought he said 1,000.
Yeah, I thought it was 32. I remember that.
32.
The whole lot is 46, and he's got part of it with, I'm thinking it's about a third of it is left.
Yeah, I was thinking something like
So what's the lot number
12
on
to
that?
16.
Map and lot.
It's map 9, lot 10.
I thought he had said something like
I'll have to look back in my notes.
map 9, lot 10.
That's why it needs to be
Yes.
surveyed,
that. Yeah.
if we're arguing about the acreage. And it seemed like he wasn't sure, he was
I
like,
think
it could
he
be this, it could be
wasn't
Well,
that.
he was,
That's
he
why I thought it wasn't
thought it was
surveyed.
originally about 40 acres,
Yeah.
and he was putting 10 in, but then he realized it was actually 46, and it should be 15.
He was gonna put in some woods, I thought,
Well, there's some.
some edge, yeah.
Okay, so April 11th emailed back, well, from you, Sam, said, John called me this morning and said that there were 14 or 15 acres,
Ah.
not 10, that were left of that parcel. And then that prompted a couple of things back and forth saying, perhaps we should get it surveyed, since not 10, 14, or 15 is a pretty big difference in acreage.
Fortunately, yes.
I think he was confused about the size of the lot, and he knew that he had, the 10 and
Yeah, the survey, we need a survey.
Yeah, I'll be surprised if they don't survey the entire perimeter for the NRCS.
Okay.
I mean,
That would be great.
Yeah, I mean, that would be
Okay.
ideal, because then we could just use that property description.
Mhm.
Now, is his intention to donate the easement to the town? I can't recall.
No, we wanted some money.
He wanted a little bit of money,
Okay.
not a, 30,000-40,000, I think is what he was.
Now, just because I've had conversations with him in the past, and I know he's interested in the old easement, and we've talked about the potential of amending this property, the new property, to the old easement, or something like that, just to simplify administration, so there would be one conservation easement held by the town. And is there a hunting provision in that?
Yeah, he doesn't want
No
hunting.
hunting,
No
yeah.
hunting.
That was the,
Is there, oh, because I thought he had it open to hunting. and-
No.
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 no,
He always has his signs, wildlife
Oh.
preserve or whatever.
Yeah, that
No
does, I think that there is a section of that that isn't under
Actually,
easement that comes up against the lot 11, which is, pretty much all under
I
easement.
think Dan might be right, because I think he wanted to amend it to
Yeah.
say no hunting, because he had abuse by hunters.
yeah, that was the, place that he had.
He
some
has his
problem.
signs up.
Yeah, that,
Yeah,
there was.
But it
some
originally,
kind of
his
friction with-
Yeah.
originally I think he had it open to hunting.
yeah, so I was just thinking that maybe this would be an opportunity for the town to work with John to
Amend that.
pull the hunting out, but, that might,
Okay.
you might be able to get some sort of price concession from him in exchange, because I know he's interested.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So it's,
I don't think we're
something
looking
we
for a
could-
price concession based on hunting or no hunting on the
Yeah.
property.
Yeah.
Although the town wants accessibility and stuff that they already own, and lack of hunting land is an issue in town. Or when something goes into easement and it can no longer hunt in that property.
they're not happy with that?
No.
Yeah, there are certain factions in this
Yeah.
town. that
So it
are-
might be wise just to leave things as they are, rather than reopen that conversation.
Unless that can really be brought up with I think with the BOS and turn around and say that there have been issues, there's been vandalism or camping.
His
and-
vandalism, and he was concerned for his safety.
Right,
Yeah.
and so bringing
Yeah, for
that
sure.
up, I think, would then give some teeth to that, but if it's just a change of mind, I don't want hunting on the property anymore, I
Mhm.
think.
Mm.
But I know accessibility is very much an issue when properties go into potential easement.
But, and he's always had that property that's already an easement open to the
Right.
public.
Yeah, I don't think access has been his concern, it's just.
No. It's one of the more accessible easements that we have.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, and I don't think, you would have a problem with that. It was just.
I think he likes people to enjoy.
Yeah.
He's proud of it.
It seems like an opportunity maybe to bring in line, reality of him posting it with the language in the easement.
Okay, we can talk to him about that.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would be just going back and looking at the language of the easement to see for sure exactly what it was and whether or not it actually says it has to have hunting or whether hunting is allowed at owner discretion. If it says hunting's allowed at owner discretion and he's had issues with it, then it's certainly his purview to post it.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I have to be honest, I haven't read it in a while, I did a long time ago,
This is his original easement.
Yeah.
but, yeah.
Yeah, he was given no money from the town for doing this. It was, in fact, he paid for the administrative fees himself.
Yeah.
For the original.
The original, yeah, out of
Because
pocket.
there were
yeah.
no,
Wow.
right.
Yeah.
There's no
I
fund
think
at
it's
that time.
something his wife wanted before she passed away.
Well,
Yeah.
him and the friend one were like the first two easements in
Mhm.
town,
Mm-hmm.
and they didn't get any money. There was nothing available at that time.
Oh, okay, the friend didn't get any either?
No, they didn't get any
Mm-mm.
money either. They used she had to use her money for all those fees as well. Same deal.
Okay.
Oh, and, just the last one was, we've been talking to Raylene and Dale in the past about doing a conservation project on their property. And, we're interested in moving forward because of the frontage on, the North River, where we've been working already. These are all the same. Actually, here's a collection of maps that show the property. And so we were hoping, or would like the town conservation commission to consider, supporting the project in some way. The budget that we have is, $11,995.
Maybe we just pass it on the
Yeah, we
packet.
just have to pass around the packet.
Yeah,
Is
I've
that
got a collection of maps, but I
in
didn't print
abuts
enough
other
of it.
conservation land?
How
Oh,
many
sure.
acres is this one, Raylene?
What's the works, and, it's along the North River, which
Oh,
is
you've got the sheet.
one of our corridors for the Four Generals Greenway, so.
Yeah, and it directly adds to the Rourke easement,
Yeah.
WRP.
I'll pass this
easement
around,
that
so
we
it's
can-
Yeah.
just a packet.
Yeah.
I'll take a look at it first.
It's just a skip and a jump over to the cross Route 4 to the county property.
Yeah, it actually looks like to the conference area. And then, actually, you can see it, but this is a kind of a broader view. So-
Well, except for the clear cut at the end of the road, and except for the mostly clear cut that occurred with the new house that went in, across from Jenna's farm, they clear cut right back to the river.
Did they?
They did?
Oh.
That house that went, there's a
Yeah,
small house in the
right.
front and the
Yeah.
house behind it, they cleared it right back to the stone wall. And now their land is posted.
I saw the post me.
Yep, and by the way, I posted ours last weekend.
Guess we better post ours.
And what are you posted against?
I don't want anybody hunting on the property. We've had a couple hunters with, too close.
We had to post ours too,
And
in
I've
that
got a-
issue.
A
We're
pretty
out with our
special,
dog every day.
we've got a very unusual Tom on our property, so. Not a peeping Tom,
Pretty interesting,
unusual.
John.
Oh, yeah, you didn't see me then, huh?
I hope so.
No,
I tried to
must have been the
buy,
camo,
I tried
Sam.
to talk Jeff.
That
Not
orange
Sally,
camera
Jeff.
you can't see.
What's
right?
Jeff's last
Oh,
name?
yeah.
What's
And
Jeff's last name?
What's the,
Tried to talk him to selling me just a strip of land, just, there's a piece of land on our property where the border goes. It's bugged me from the day we moved there. And I
Yeah.
wish I had done it years ago. I wanted to straighten out the line. And have it all straight together the river instead of at an angle.
what's,
And it probably covers maybe an acre and a half at the most. And I tried to get
Oh,
Jeff
never mind,
to
there's the
sell me
acreage.
just that
Yeah,
small
it's around
piece.
10 acres.
What map and lot is that?
And
I'm
it is a
sorry.
domain.
I'm looking for that.
Okay.
so you've got your is that your total acreage, Raylene, 11?
Yeah, it's,
And so you're keeping out the house,
we're just doing the necessary 2 acres
right,
around the house.
you've got like 13 point something total.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's unsurveyed, so we don't really know how many acres.
Right, and that's why I wanted to
That's why
get
it
that
has to be certain.
line straightened out.
Is the map and lot on that?
I don't know.
I don't have it any
I probably
here.
have it somewhere.
I don't know
Looks
what it's
like
worth.
it'd be 14. Does that sound right?
I have no idea what.
Oops.
How many acres did I say?
11.
That land in
Looks
Nottingham
like
is
it's
more
14.
expensive than me.
Okay,
If it's,
thanks.
not road frontage.
It's 14.
Some of it will be.
About 11 acres?
Well, it's 11.0.
So it's-
That's on the project,
That's after the two.
document, right here, 11 acres,
That's
11.00.
after the 2 acres is taken out for the house, right?
I'm assuming. Raylene, you have 2 acres for the house, and then the 11 will go into conservation.
No, it's a total of 11.
Yeah, it would be like 9 or 10 acres.
The
Oh,
actual,
okay.
the actual acreage according to the town tax maps is 10.8.
Mhm.
Okay.
Do you have-
Over my head.
Do you have current use then?
No, we never put it into current use.
Oh. I'm gonna pass
Well,
this along.
'cause
Well, there's not enough, because I think we have to have a
Technically-
We need to
minimum
have
of
10,
Right,
2 plus 10.
right, and
Right.
we're just short of that.
Hmm.
That's the other reason why.
Unless you produce,
5, it's something like an average of
actually-
5 years, you've gotta
yeah, I think
produce
it's
a few
only
thousand now.
$2,000
Is it?
in agricultural receipts.
Still, easier
Oh.
said than done, being a poor
Yes.
farmer.
That's a lot of eggs to sell.
Yeah, that is what
How many times we had a garden big enough that we could have produced that much?
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's too bad, $2,000.
We just want to put it into easement so it can't be subdivided. That's the
This
major
is our
issue.
copy.
Right, so, yeah.
Because you have enough frontage to
Yes.
subdivide.
So you have
Would you-
frontage, a
what-
lot of frontage on the road.
Four hundred
Yeah, we got
and
493.
ninety-three on the road.
Frontage on the North River and then it
And
abuts.
frontage on the North River.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you,
both.
Eileen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dale.
Yeah.
And that should, I mean, in theory, be a good price on the survey. That was an estimate that Pete gave us, but that was back in 2015.
Yeah, so this was back, okay, it's first, so, yeah, it does say August 2015. Keeping it under wraps.
So,
Okay,
so
okay,
even
so
know.
that doesn't
she
go
had-
back to the.
She had
river?
brought it up
Uh,
We
before.
brought
I
it up
must have
before, and then
not-
we didn't do anything, you know,
Oh,
so
okay,
it
maybe I
fell
wasn't
off.
at that
River
meeting.
right
Now
here.
it's suddenly like,
you can see
we
the
need to
river
get our
through
orders.
there. So I would say, you know, that's just an estimate.
Get her done.
get this settled, get it done, so I got back in touch with Ed.
Sometimes those, they don't sit absolutely correctly.
Okay.
So we could do
Oh,
a
I know,
public hearing
Dan,
on all
one
3 of these
question I had
properties.
was,
Yeah.
John Ternenko mentioned the other night about something like agricultural easement, so that someone who, you could raise chickens on it, or have a horse, or plant a garden, or,
On your property?
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, most of that would be permitted on the current easement. We have kind of general agricultural language that would cover anyone who wanted to do ag on the property.
Oh,
They just have to have
As long as they didn't cut down
a
any of the
management plan.
woods.
And there are some
Okay.
nice soils up there by the road.
And I
So-
think if you looked at what sort of what the buildable lot is that's out, so if that's not going into the easement anyhow, that would still be an area that would, because I think once you get down off of your, you know, hey, property.
Right,
once-
yeah,
Once
there's
you get out of
nothing-
sort of the
right.
cleared area of your property, that's not really farmable.
No, that's all woods, and
Yeah, it's just
wetlands,
that
basically.
on the road down the slope.
Right,
Mm.
right.
But yeah, ag and, you know, forestry would be permitted with plans in place.
So you're, this area up here would certainly, I think, once you
Yeah,
get down
I
up
think
here,
we're,
it's,
we're going to have the property line along here somewhere.
Okay.
This area. Gotta
Not-
survey it and see
not
where
what
it
you've
is.
got here?
Probably, no, it's probably too much. But that's why it has to be surveyed, because I don't know how much this acreage is here.
Mm-hmm. I'd almost do it this way, so that if someone does want a garden, they can.
Yeah,
garden
that's
over
right,
here.
this is a nice garden here,
Right, so that then if this could be
That's
still in the
basically
easement, which
orchard.
is your,
You still have it?
right.
You still have it?
because where's the trail, right, it's right
Yep.
at the property line.
Right, it's,
Yeah.
the trail's this side of the property
Right,
line.
right.
So it goes right down through here.
Mhm.
What year is
So yeah, if we brought this into, there's this little driveway
I mean, you could always jog it too, you could kind of do something like this, and then come up that way, and see how it works that way.
However, we can ease out 2 acres.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause I think we have to do 2 acres, don't we, to keep it? 2
Yeah,
acre?
I think it's the rule 2 acre.
You have to, again, you have to do the 2 acres
Building lot.
unless you can produce
Yeah.
more off of it. You can petition the town to have less than
Amazing how
2
many
acres,
people take it.
and it might be, you could try and petition through the ZBA to, I don't know whether it goes through the ZBA or goes through the Board of Selectmen, if you wanted that change down from, say.
Well,
what
once
would-
it goes into easement, it should fall into a current use category.
Right, but I'm saying they might be able to petition to have, say, a 1 acre building lot, because they're gonna have the rest in easement, but I doubt that they're gonna do that, because
Yeah.
it takes too much off the tax.
No, they won't go into a non-conforming lot.
Right.
The other thing was when we were looking at those maps the other night, it looked like that, like where our property is, was that high green, high value habitat area. I thought, ooh, that's nice, that's nice to know. Something else we can add, you know, along the river and next to
Oh, yeah.
Murphy's property, we now have high value habitat here.
It's awesome.
Check that off.
Awesome.
Yeah, thank you, Raylene and Dale.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, excellent. Thank you.
So,
Well, so the question would be, would the commission support it financially?
I think we support all three of these projects. And if we can just wrap them into one presentation to the Board of Selectmen, just for the legal step we need to take, we can expedite that.
Do you want us to be there?
That would be nice, but what we need to do first is some homework, because we have not received an accounting of the Conservation Fund for a little bit longer than it should be. So we need to find out what we have.
I think
And-
we got enough for these.
Right,
Well,
but
I
we
think-
need to have some sort of statement from,
Right.
The
We got
business
that-
office.
We got that estimate from them before town meeting, but then the audit usually isn't completed until after town meeting.
But usually we have a whole sheet
Correct.
that says this money has come in and this money has gone out. All we got was a slip of paper that said you have this much
Right.
money.
So I
Yeah,
think to
right.
request from Chris that we get a full accounting
Okay.
as of probably,
April 1st?
Mm.
May
Yeah.
1st?
April 1st.
Yeah, we can't spend the money if it has not been audited.
right, and I'd say
So it's a
get a full
laggy.
accounting over the
Yeah.
last 2 years, because
Yeah.
we've had a lot of projects going on over the last couple of years with ins and outs, so.
Yeah.
Anyway, do we want to take a vote on supporting this if the money is available?
I move that we support all of these three projects. The Kennard property, an estimated $12,500 from the Conservation Fund. The Tranenco property, estimated at $4,400. And the Shippey Rice and the Rice properties, transaction cost of $11,995 from the Conservation Fund.
May I ask one quick question?
Mhm.
I thought you had mentioned that John wanted like $30,000.
We've already voted on that.
That's been voted on, okay.
That I don't remember. We can vote later on that.
We
I
need
don't
to
think,
double
he
check.
said he would like to have
Something.
Yeah.
So I
something.
don't know if we,
Yeah.
did we
And
do
if
an
it-
official vote?
Yeah,
I don't
think we-
Because I think we wanted the acreage number.
True, we wanted the exact
We
acreage
can,
number.
yeah, we can vote on that later.
Unofficial.
And we can vote on that later. Can I make an amendment to that?
Well, don't you have to
vote
second
on
it first?
and then make an
No,
amendment?
No, you need to second it and then make an amendment?
Yeah, second it and then make it.
Well-
I'll second,
Okay.
and then with amendment pending on balance and report on what the conservation fund is.
I second that?
You second it. All right, is there any further discussion on the amendment?
Is that,
Yes.
Is there any further discussion on the amendment? Hearing none, all those in favor of the amendment signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anybody against? Anybody abstain? One abstention. Okay, now we're back to the motion as amended. Is there any discussion on the motion as amended?
I just want to clarify, we're voting to support the Chernenko project, but not a specific amount right now.
Well, we have a preliminary amount, we don't know what the survey would be, if it needs to be
Yeah,
surveyed.
yeah, just the transaction
We're
costs.
voting on just the
Transaction
transaction cost,
Gotcha.
not the
Yep.
30,000.
Gotcha, okay. Thank you.
Okay. Do I have a total on that at this point?
I didn't add them up.
No.
Anybody have a quick calculator?
I think Cheryl's on it.
Only somebody could do it in there.
27,900 or something.
9, 45,
The other one.
400
Twenty-eight,
equals,
895?
27,990.
I got 4,400 for Tenenco. Got 11,995 for 50 yards.
Okay, but the Ternenco does not include the survey, right? Oh, no, it does, TB.
No, well, to be determined. And the, what was the other one? The 12,500 for the Kennet property.
Mhm.
And I come up with,
28,895.
yeah, that's what I come up with.
Yeah, I pulled the wrong figure.
28,895, okay,
Or a little-
total.
You did the, okay. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Anybody opposed? And we abstain. No abstention.
One abstention, okay. Did you abstain before on the
Yeah.
amendment?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't paying attention.
okay,
Vote for yourself.
That's all I have.
okay.
Thank you, Dan.
Thanks, Dan.
Meeting in Candia is at 7 on Wednesday, is it?
I
6:30.
think it's 6:30.
6:30 on Wednesday. We're gonna get that cleared before you left. Okay,
Okay?
thanks, Dan.
Thank you,
So I don't know, thanks, Dan. I
Yeah.
don't know if it's possible to go back and look at when John was here, that, I don't know that we
Was he at the
approved-
last meeting?
The last meeting, the meeting before. I think the meeting before.
If it was the meeting before, I have the minutes for that.
Because I think that we did like a conditional approval of it pending, exact acreage, et cetera.
I have March here.
It was last month.
If it was, I haven't written those out.
That was
Okay.
last one.
I wasn't here
Oh,
last,
sure it was
but
last.
I thought he came in another time.
Oh, he came last month because he was looking at the
I thought it was last
maps
one.
too.
Oh, okay,
It was last month.
Yeah, he was around the table,
okay, right.
so April.
Yep.
Do you want to go look in my scratchy notes? April 10th was when Emma and Amanda and Barbara were here.
Yep.
And John was here too as well.
Yes.
John. Would the Conservation Commission be interested in supporting this easement financially? Yes. Discussed money. Who would hold the deed? Looked at tax maps, blah, blah, blah. We did not vote.
Okay.
And I don't even have anything written down as to what he wanted. I think it was just kind of a figure that he tossed out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Which he did.
Which he
Yeah,
did.
he's-
I think
he's
we need to,
tossed out about
minimum of,
30,000.
he's like around 30,000, but if you could get more, it would be,
yeah.
if you would like it.
And it was
but-
just
Yeah,
informal,
right,
very informal,
almost as he walked out the door.
yeah. So we can talk, after we get our accounting from the business office, we can talk amongst ourselves and with John too,
Okay.
see what would be appropriate.
Okay.
okay.
Anybody have anything else that we're gonna talk about?
Yes. So the planning board is interested in Jesse Carlson giving his Dark Skies presentation to them. Do
Excellent.
you want to arrange that?
I can talk with his mother again.
Okay.
He's got it, right now, he's still up at school.
Mm-hmm.
And then he had a summer job, you said?
Yeah, he's got a summer job working for the Loon Preservation Committee. But he's gotta be staying in
Yeah.
Pittsfield, so
Okay,
he's relatively handy.
okay. But
so-
I'm sure that they would prefer that the presentation happen on a regular meeting night.
Okay,
If there's something that,
okay, so.
were there any planning board people here when he came and did his
I was-
presentation?
I don't think
To
so.
whom did I suggest it to you?
But I sent out an invitation to them, so,
and-
the
and
planning
they-
board.
Yeah, and they were,
Right, but then you were talked about opening it up or advertising it.
Well, let's see if this can be,
No, but
well,
I mean.
it's all, the meetings like Conservation Commission are always open to the public.
No, but I mean, making a special announcement about it was you I was talking to
Yes, yes, and
Okay.
rather than do maybe a separate program at the library later on and wear poor Jesse out, you know? But you would have to
but-
coordinate
yeah, but he-
with
yeah,
Joanna too.
Yeah,
Okay,
so probably the next possible one would be the regular meeting in June,
Probably too early.
which would
Well,
be
it-
the second Wednesday, right?
August.
He'd be out of
second
school.
and fourth
He'll be out of school
Wednesdays.
then.
Yeah, he's out of school in
May.
Fourth is usually.
I don't know, I sent a
So that would be
date
the
out.
14th or the 28th.
Maybe not.
Okay, and what's the fourth one this month? Is that, would that be-
I think that this, somebody's scheduled, Mr. Mayberry's gonna be coming and talking about impact fees.
oh, okay.
And the meeting this week is going
Oh,
to be a
that's right.
workshop on road safety.
Yeah, that's probably too soon.
Yeah.
All right, so
Yeah, he's
the,
finishing up,
I
so
got-
May would be
But
a
if you
bad
can,
month for him.
if you give him the 2 June dates and see if
Okay.
those are possible, but also
Okay.
check with Joanna, you
okay,
know, because they get applications in and they start filling up.
okay.
So thank you on that, Sam.
Okay.
Second thing I have is, we had talked last year about doing some inventory work on first, second, and third order streams to get additional protection for those waterways in Nottingham. And I think Liz and I had talked about going over to Stratford Regional Planning and see what they had for mapping. And the planning board was pleased that we would take on this responsibility and then bring our findings to them so they could consider making an ordinance for additional protection, setbacks, and things like that.
Excellent.
So,
Awesome.
so are you still interested in being on a committee with
Well,
me?
yes, I'm
Is,
delighted to go over there with you, and we'll see what we can do.
okay,
That would be
So-
fun.
and Liz.
Oh.
So we'll talk and find out when we have some time that we'll work with Stratford Regional Planning.
That'd be good.
And the only other thing I have was the turtle sign thing.
Yeah. So, Mike Marchand has turtle signs for us. Mike Marchand is the turtle biologist for New Hampshire Fish and Game. And he studies Blanding's turtles specifically, which are critically imperiled species. And so they have a project getting signs up in special habitats where they're found. And so we have been talking as a commission for over a year now about getting turtle signs up. So he asked for our input on hotspots, and so that's what that survey was. And so when I got back to him about Berry Road, Flutter, Deerfield Road, those all matched where the highest his highest inventory is for those species. So I talked with Paul too about Stevens Hill Road maybe, but Deerfield Road is so, it's paved, it's faster, there's a lot more traffic, so I think it makes sense to do Berry, Flutter, and Deerfield.
Do you have 3 signs or 6 signs?
3.
Oh, okay.
Oh, three?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he said 2 to 3, but he's doing 3.
Okay.
So it was discussed at the Board of Selectmen's meeting.
So actually, I asked how, other towns had implemented it, and he said just go through the town administrator and the road agent. So I talked to Chris Sterndale, and he is very supportive of it and was excited. We're all proud that, we would be chosen because we have such great habitat. So he just asked me to send a formal request from the commission and say which roads, and also that New Hampshire Fish and Game is supplying all of the materials, so it would just be on the town to install them.
So you just have to put them up, that's it.
Yeah, so there's 2 kinds of signs too. So there's removing them, where it's just a post that has to go in and come out, or they have the hinged
Hinge
ones.
ones are nice.
Yeah, he mentioned the hinge
We
ones.
mentioned the hid ones, the hinge
Can we
ones.
get
So
6 of them so that there's one from each direction on those roads?
they have such limited, and they're doing very focused. Like Chris said, or Mike said that he hoped that he had 3 and not just 2 left. So we're getting 3, which is
But maybe next
exciting.
year we could get more.
Well, they'll. Oh yeah, no.
Double-sided, is
yeah,
the
I
sign
think-
visible on both
I
sides?
wonder. Yeah, good.
Are
That's a
visible
great
That's
on
what they
both
were
sides.
saying, is there have to be
Right.
in each location,
Or
one
do you
on
have to
each.
decide which side are people
Right.
coming from going the fastest or something?
And on Ash Swamp Road in Lee,
Two.
they have 2 of them,
Yeah.
but they're visible from
Maybe
both
he
sides.
meant like the number of locations.
Maybe-
I wonder. Yeah, I'll
yeah,
just
maybe.
clarify on that.
Yeah.
But so Chris, obviously, I think we're all in agreement that the hinged would be better,
Yeah.
because he felt that if they had to be
It's tough to
installed,
get
it's a
those
lot of
signs
work
in.
for our
Yeah,
road
it
crews,
is.
and they're
Yeah.
already busy
Yeah.
enough. So Chris asked if we would be up for
Flipping
being
them.
in charge of flipping them.
I can do the Flood Street one.
which I think would be
There
cool.
we go, Susan.
Bet.
Me, Sam.
Well, he also mentioned how good it is to be able to shut it up at the end
Right.
of the season, so
The
that
sign
people don't
fatigue,
just
right?
get used to seeing
Blinded
it.
to,
Yeah.
yeah.
So the only other piece that we have to move on is that we would have to pay for the hinges for the sign. So we would need to maybe vote on expending that and make sure that we do that tonight.
$10-20.
So we don't have to install them, we just
We have
have to
to
pay for them.
install them.
Oh, we have to install
Well,
them.
they-
The road
The road
Road
agent.
agent,
yeah.
yeah.
Chris, they asked tonight at the Board of Selectmen, and they said, we would install them, meaning the town.
Oh, Chris already asked too.
Yeah,
At the
and the
meeting
Board of
tonight.
Selectmen
Yeah.
already approved it.
Excellent. Yay. I'm so excited.
As long as we flip them.
Cool.
Right.
Okay, well, I'm just,
Probably.
Have a flip
Because
schedule.
Donna asked
yeah.
for clarification on cost, and then Chris said, well, no, there isn't any cost to the
Right.
town other than putting the posts in.
The
Cool.
cost to put them in.
Good.
yeah.
That's already done. I thought that was another step. Good.
How- But there's a hinge cost, it sounds like.
Cost for the hinge signs?
I don't. I actually emailed Mike and asked if he had like a preferred vendor that he goes through in an estimate, but I can just Google it. So I don't know, but I wouldn't think that it's more than like $100.
Yeah,
or-
sometimes just coming in with a bill and asking to be reimbursed, after
Yeah.
someone has put it on their
Because
MasterCard
it's
or
so
something.
small.
Yeah, for the hinges.
And look at the type of hinges, 'cause you can probably get them at the hardware
I'm
store.
sure there's something recommended, yeah.
Yeah.
And we've got money in the budget for
Okay.
equipment or.
Or go
Okay.
look at the Lee hinges and check them out.
Okay. So everyone's fine if I go
Yep.
do that?
Yes.
then? Okay. And I'm gonna try to get with Mike Marchand this week, because Chris said the sooner we can get them in hand, the better, because there's
Yes.
a lot of work ahead of the road crew, and we're in turtle nesting.
Say we are already in the middle.
Do we need to have a motion to just say up to a particular dollar amount, since it's not just a small reimbursement for mileage or, I don't know. Just asking.
Well, we've got, actually, I've got,
You can also steal from Peter to pay Paul, though,
yeah,
too.
yeah.
Right, one line that
Kristen,
we
do we
don't
have to
use.
cut the signs?
No, they have
Stuff?
cuts.
Right, 'cause
they
this
have
would
the
come
cut
under our
signs already.
sign
Yeah.
Just the
Okay.
hinges.
But we could
Just
do
need the hinges, that's
Yeah.
equipment
Okay.
Yeah,
or something
Now,
else.
Now,
that's
if
what
they're
I mean, a lot of us
Do we
didn't
need
go
to
to
install the hinges then,
conferences,
is
like
that
I
what you're
haven't
saying?
gone to so we probably have
I
extra
think
conference
so.
money.
Who installs
the thing
these?
that was,
Okay.
that was from last year is already
Installed.
gone, that's gone back into the general
Okay.
fund. It's whatever we got this year.
Yeah, but what did we put in for this year for like conferences, cause a lot of
About the
us
same-
haven't
About
gone.
the same amount, you know.
Yeah, but if a lot of us haven't gone,
$550 or
Right,
something like that.
but, I mean, I didn't go and I don't plan on going any this year, and there's a lot of us who haven't, so there might be money that's.
Googling hinges for road signs to see.
Well, and I do have stuff for, you know, equipment, some for the water testing equipment.
Right,
there's money
hopefully
in there.
cross our fingers, things go well.
Yeah,
Yeah, I will email people on that, I've gotta kinda head out, but, I'll email people on water testing, and I'll email Celia to see if she can, sometimes she takes the equipment down, although from last year, cause they did such a lousy job, I'm afraid to take it down this year.
I have a quick question on that. Do all the water testing groups around the state have to use the same kind of equipment?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's
All right, cause
There-
I
there's a
just was
few-
asking, cause
There's a
the,
few choices, but the state has their recommended meters, and there's like 3 types of pH meters they have, and a couple different YSI meters or whatever,
okay.
multimeters.
cause I'm gonna be
Very
doing
particular.
testing with the VLAP program, and they have much simpler monitoring equipment, and I thought, well, since we're a small group, and maybe we could, I don't know, it seemed like we had a lot of trouble last year, trying to get everything calibrated.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. There's always calibration issues. It's always a pain, yes. So I will talk to them about some of those. Maybe if I talk to go to one of those Lee sessions and talk to that other girl, but I am gonna complain this year, cause last year it was like they didn't change our batteries, we had issues, and
Yeah.
we were kind of
Yeah, you-
expecting that they
you
look,
had to
it's
plug
almost
the-
like
We
they
were like
didn't look at
welding
it.
it ourselves.
Well, we had to recharge the batteries because they couldn't be replaced.
Yeah,
They were rechargeable, and you
Yeah.
couldn't put other batteries in.
right, yeah, so we do have to recharge them, and, yeah, all right, I'll look into that, sorry.
Okay.
One last thing about the signs too. Mike said to let him know the distance on the roads, 1 or 2 miles, because he has a sticker that he can place on them that says turtle crossing next 1 mile or next 2 miles. So I was just gonna go on those roads. I mean, Flutter. it's
Like 2
really-
miles.
Yeah,
But-
because there's all vernal pools and
The
everything.
the
like-
western end is very critical, though.
Yeah.
Where it's very, very wet. But
Mhm.
that whole run, almost to, what's Dwight Road is wet,
Mhm.
has potential wet areas.
Okay.
That's probably only about a mile though, isn't it?
Well, where's the housings going in?
Well, from my house to the end of Flutter Street is a third of a
Enough?
mile. It's no more than 2 miles.
bought
that Mhm.
piece of property, it's gonna go into conservation.
Cause I think we should have it, it seems like it should be like for the critical spots, you know, so that people aren't just like, no, whatever, I'm just driving for. Like they should know really how,
Yeah, but if we get, a sign on each end of that area, and they have that mileage on there, it sounds like that's, I mean, 'cause you'd have to have one on each end if you have like a 1.5 mile stretch.
I don't know that we are. I can ask him. I don't know that we're getting 6
You know,
signs.
a person to ask would be Mark West. Ask,
He was on that, email chain and he didn't jump in.
sometimes you have to call his cell. Want me to give you his cell number?
The other thing, I guess, would be to ask, cause I agree, cause how can you mark it from this side? So if we put the sign on Flutter only at the west end, but somebody's driving from this side
Maybe he
down.
meant sets of signs. I should probably look.
So clarify,
just clarify
and if it is only a single sign, ask them where they get the signs made up, how much they are, and then maybe at the next meeting, we
do our own, yeah.
Well,
That's a good idea,
have additional signs made to put in.
because we had
opposite
river
signs.
signs in our budget for so long.
Correct.
And then we had the other signs in the budget for protected river for the North River.
I was using the same.
Right,
one.
but I mean,
Yeah.
we do have signage in the budget.
I think it's 200.
Okay.
That's a good idea.
250, I think it is, 250.
So for the mileage piece, just because this is time sensitive, do you want to tell me the mileage for Flutter?
Two,
And
just say two.
And what about Barry?
That,
Or he goes into Epping.
yeah, how long is that? Is that 5 miles, 6 miles?
All, the whole
I
road?
think it's.
Well, that swamp is very extensive,
It is extensive.
and it
it
starts,
goes far off the right, it goes way
Yeah.
out to.
I think,
But it's gotta be 2 miles to where that comes up, that goes over that little bridge and then goes up, which is where it goes.
I think
into
it's
Epping.
further than that.
I
Kristen,
think
do you
the
want me to
thing-
drive around tomorrow and tell you, send you an
Sure.
email?
I
That would be
drive
great.
that road a lot.
you can give me the numbers, like, okay, it starts at 84 and it stops at whatever, and then I can pull it up on the map for him too. So like if you're saying the critical, critical-
Oh, okay, I was gonna say GPS points, I
yeah,
can't do that.
no. Because I think it's the same thing as sign fatigue. I think if you have 5 miles, then that's not gonna
Yeah,
mean
yeah.
anything. So I think we
Right.
need to narrow it down to the critical areas.
Okay,
So I think 1 or 2 miles is what we should, on
Where
each
most of
road.
Where the most of the turtles are is right at the beginning, where you come off.
Of Barry?
Yeah,
Epping?
where you get on to Berry. And
Which
that's where
direction?
I've seen like 2 or 3 adults.
That's what you were
walking
saying, too.
across the
Yeah,
ri-
yeah.
And it's that swamp that's
that's the
now
back of
filled
Perkins'
in.
property,
Right.
yeah,
You should
And,
go
but-
just from there,
yeah.
and
1
it-
mile
it
or 2
goes
miles then.
all the way down, there's vernal pools all in that
Yeah.
section, but it's all posted on both sides.
Yeah,
But I think to really do anything, it would make sense to put the sign up beyond that swamp, which you can measure it or I'll measure it.
Yeah.
but,
That would be great if you guys
at-
could give me
at
that
least
tomorrow.
if we get a sign where you go over that little bridge and
Mhm.
then that swamp kinda ends and goes off to the right, you go up the hill and
at
there
at
are
the
some
Epping,
more vernal pools, but they're in Epping further up that road.
yeah, yeah.
So, I think and I think even the road changes name, it's not.
It goes from Barry
it's
to
not
Epping
Berry
Road.
anymore,
Mhm.
it's like Old Nottingham Road or something.
Well, it is as soon as you cross the town line,
Yeah,
yeah, Old Nottingham Road. What about Deerfield?
I
Where
was just gonna-
Milebrook comes through?
Well, I think
Milebrook
he
and-
has like I was just, yeah,
I don't really know
gonna
Deerfield that
defer to
well.
him, because he said he had a lot of individual data.
Marchand,
Mike Marchand, yeah.
Marchand,
He
okay.
knows where the.
Right. like
So
I
he
saw
knows
him
that
in
one,
the
so I'll just do
environment.
Flutter and Berry then,
Yeah,
all right.
that'd be great.
but there are a huge number up at Stevensville. I mean, you can see 6 or 7, when they're crossing
Wow.
in one spot. And I've never seen any densities higher than that place. And it's got spotted salamanders and a lot of other stuff too.
Mhm.
But the road goes into, when it goes past Mulligan, it goes into Deerfield,
Mhm.
and then that road ends and kinda goes off to the right, and then the other one goes out to Northwood, but the whole area is honeycombed with vernal pools.
Oh, yeah.
I just feel like we have to make choices,
Yeah, and
right?
that's where I think he worked, cause he worked with Lauren, because she was getting all these turtles and giving them data,
Mm-hmm.
and they actually show up, they walk across the lawn and they go into those she has those lily pad ponds that she made, and they got all kinds of frogs, and they'll walk across and go in there and come out and go, further down into but they go all the way up into, I'm trying to remember her name, that's in Bear Paw. They own a lot of the land that's up on that end of Stevens Hill Road, all the way back. And,
Who's he talking about, Sam?
I'm not sure if you're talking about, Perry Road or.
No, Stevens
Stevens
Hill,
Hill Road.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
where it goes into
Stevens Hill
Dill Road, into
you got,
Deerfield.
Stevens Hill eventually runs into, what the heck's the name of that road?
Yeah, it's a really short little road that ends, and their house is, I think, on Stevens Hill Road after the big turn, when you go up to that Stevens Hill, and then you come across.
I've been out there once, I think.
Yeah, and that, she and her husband, he teaches at, that private school in, Manchester. And they're very active in Bear Paw, they go to all the meetings. For some reason, I can't, I got my phone on, so.
Oh boy. Should know that name too. Now, were they the ones that bought that piece of property on South Road in Deerfield and had a, sort of like a nature center there for a while?
No, they,
It wasn't the ex-teacher from, well, she taught at, one of the things taught at Co-Brown.
oh, yeah, no, she had the, Conservation Foundation, yeah, in, Northwood, but they, signed off on that and went to Australia. No, it isn't them, it's Chris and Steve Mathis,
Oh, okay.
you know them?
I know the name, yeah.
Yeah, she goes to all the meetings, they're
Yeah,
big
yeah.
supporters.
Okay.
And they got a huge chunk of property.
I just looked at my email and Mike said, I think we'll be okay for 2 to 3 locations, so I think they're set.
Oh, so
Yeah.
2 for each
Yeah.
location.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, nice.
We do have to buy our own. It looks like they're about $30 a piece.
The hinges?
No, these are the
Signs,
signs.
period?
We
Oh,
need to get more
cool.
signs.
Oh, that's not
That's
bad.
not bad.
I'm gonna get
18
some
by
from Garland
18
Road then.
inches.
I think we need to decide, though, do you see a lot of mortality
They are. We could
on
pull
Stevens
together
Hill
and get
Road?
some. That's a great idea.
More than you would see on Deerfield
But
Road?
there's,
Been on that one.
the road is so rural that you can't really, I mean, they got a 25-mile-an-hour speed limit, but everybody goes flying out there. And
All right, so there is mortality. People,
Well, all the town roads in this town are
yeah,
25 miles an hour.
Already called the
All
police
ones that
about
aren't are
this is
state
so
roads.
narrow,
There's a guy
and
and like
Johnny's
a
been
kid
opening it, but
wait.
there's a lot of places
Yeah.
sitting in,
you can't get 2 cars through there.
Yeah.
And,
put that on Garland Facebook.
there's a lot of mortality, and Quincy Pond is just at the beginning of it.
Yeah.
and There's wetlands and Mulligan, so it would be a good place to think about. in the future.
mhm.
And I don't know if he, we can start with this and then see if, we could add that in.
Mhm.
Because I think Chris and Steve Mathis have been talking to,
Yeah.
Bear Paw about donating, but it's all tied up with family,
Oh, yeah.
and so I'm not sure how it's all,
Play out.
yeah, but it's a very significant amount of property.
Should we decide between the two? Deerfield or Stevens Hill? Like, I was
Can we
kinda
buy,
going
can we
on-
buy 2 more signs from Mike? And
He said he
reimburse
had
him?
2 to 3,
Well, Deerfield's
sets
gonna,
left, so I
Deerfield's
just,
gonna cover you up, how far?
I mean, could we have 8 signs?
I doubt it. He said,
Even
I
if we
need to
pay
check
him?
my sign inventory, but I think we'll be okay for 2 to 3 locations. So that's double what, so I was just going on
Okay.
the amount of traffic.
Mhm.
Deerfield Road, I think it's a lot more traffic,
Right.
but maybe we could purchase our own for Stevens Hill if there's more,
Yeah.
Yeah.
if there's a lot of mortality. I didn't know there was a
This
lot of.
company
Oh,
has
yeah.
Seen a lot of
different
mortality.
models.
There is a lot of
They don't appear to be
mortality.
hinged, but,
Yeah, that isn't a hinge sign.
no, but I
It's
think probably,
It's
Mr.
even
Chairman,
power
you could
crews
either
that
ask
they
them to-
maintain
Yeah, I've seen ones like
Have
this
to
up in Maine.
And they go up there
Sam?
for weeks.
We need to be
Bye,
excused.
bye, Raylene. You're
Bye, Raylene.
excused.
Yeah,
So I
anyway,
think if we do need more signs, find out
Deerfield's-
who we get them from so that we're consistent with the signs.
Yeah,
and-
right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But at least we
Deerfield's
know
good
they're not
stock.
outrageously expensive.
And these other two, and then if something develops that,
You can get more, and then
I'd
that
like
would be
to
the
know
next
how
one.
much data he has for Stevens Hill, because I have a feeling that there's probably one of the highest densities.
Yeah, I would think so, because, I mean, that's, in that whole area is highest ranked habitat.
It is, it's the highest ranked habitat.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you again.
Good night.
So what's the plan of action here so that we don't stay, not that I don't want to talk, but let's
Yeah.
move on with this so we can
Yes.
adjourn
Yeah.
this meeting?
We have 2 sets of minutes and a set of site walk minutes to review. I'd like to get last month's and this month's written up. Could we have a little workshop meeting sometime and just take care of business? Or you guys can all email me your edits rather than spend time.
Okay, I wasn't at the meeting,
Through.
so I can't, I could do content, but I could do grammar.
Yeah,
Now, were you not at the meeting?
Huh?
yeah.
What were we
She was at the meeting, she just didn't have time.
Last month, I was supposed to write up the minutes, and then all hell broke out this past weekend. The time I set aside to do the minutes, it just blew away. So I did not do April minutes. We
Okay.
still need to do February and March, plus a site walk,
Right.
but those have not been edited. They've been sent out a couple times, but I've not received any edits back.
Mhm.
And if I can send them all out again,
Okay,
Edits for which, are you talking about Shay?
February, no, we voted on that one.
Shay's already done, yeah.
Yes, I know that,
Okay.
because I insisted that we approve those so I can
Before-
move them,
Correct, correct.
which we need to take care of. What are we gonna do about Shay?
We gotta look at that where because they're talking about blocking the, existing culvert there, or that pipe.
Right, but we can't approve it, Sam. I think we should send that off to DES and say, we find this issue, this issue, this issue, and this issue.
I think it did send something to DES.
But they haven't
In-
sent their
indi-
application in yet, have they?
I don't know.
Okay, what,
Indicating that there were some problems with the things, and we need some time to look at some more stuff there.
okay, and when we're gonna do that?
Well, Sam, I thought that your email said that you had contacted them and said that there were some issues that we would perhaps need to do another site visit based on when the snow melted, we could get a better look at it.
Yeah.
The other thing that I'd suggest is that since there seemed to be some discrepancy with previous plans,
that showed
that
wetlands.
Ed indicated that there were wetlands, and on the current plans, they were not indicating wetlands, so that there was a discrepancy there. And at a minimum, that is something that should go to DES and say, we're getting a discrepancy
Right.
here, and then since they plan to block a pipe, and now they say that they're gonna drain, where are they draining it? If they're draining it into a non-wetland area, then why
It
would they
used to be
choose
a
drain it
wetland.
that
The
way?
the map over those years shows a wetland, and then that it had been filled in and it's grass now. So it was altered without.
So was that the wetland that was up
permit.
up by Route 4?
Mhm.
That was the one?
Mhm.
So then the question is, who filled it in? Did the previous owner fill it in, or
Well,
has it always been Shay?
they can insist that it be restored.
Correct.
So if we find a violation, even though it's years old, where historically it was supposed to be a wetland, they
Right,
can
and
insist they
then-
restore it.
The planning board voted to conditionally approve based on certain things, right? And which means that we cannot, at least the planning board will not hire a wetland scientist
Correct.
to pursue the questions.
Correct, because it was conditionally accepted.
Right.
And unfortunately, that was not pointed out at the time, that when you conditionally accept, you can't tack on things after the fact, like we need to hire a private wetland scientist. But DES could do that.
So Sam, did you
Will they
contact
do it?
DES and tell them we had problems with the
So
application?
overwhelmed.
Yeah, they are
I think
overwhelmed.
I think that's what I
We
did.
should let it go.
I'll have to look at my, I put this in my.
Hate to say it.
Well, I'd
It's
say go
really
back and look at what you contacted
Yeah.
or what you sent or whatever to DES, and then I think there might be a follow-up with sending them digital copies of the two sets of plans and saying that, you know, we request that someone come out and actually take a look at this site.
I think that's what we need to do.
All right, if you
Because
can,
I
if you
really-
can get them out, that's great. They just have been
Right, and I know that it
so
could
hard to
take,
get out.
it could take forever to get them to come out to look at it,
I
but
think that's why a lot of protection doesn't happen,
Yeah, when I,
because people are afraid that nothing will happen and that they won't come out. So I think it's our job to let them know that we're the boots on the ground and we've seen these changes without proper permitting.
the last, you know, New Hampshire Association of Conservation Commission meeting, there were just, person after person just kept saying they couldn't get DES out. Because
I
they,
understand.
and it was just,
And we've run into that here too.
Mhm.
so
I think
gonna
we
have to
should
pick
keep
which
going.
are the ones that are gonna be the most critical. Maybe this is.
So do you want me to write
Or
up
if they
the
keep
next
getting
two
requests, maybe they can add more
Sure.
staff.
sets of minutes? And do you want to set up a workshop and we can discuss Shay again?
Yeah, really be supportive.
Got that in his budget.
I'm sorry, I'm looking at June. How do you folks feel about doing a little workshop meeting? So we can get the minutes taken care of and do some resolution work on Shay concrete.
Depends when.
We could do it next Monday on the 15th.
I won't be here.
Okay,
I could do Monday, but
I can't do the
Tuesday.
22nd.
I'm gonna be away.
And then the 29th is Memorial Day.
I'm gonna be away from the 19th until
Well, I mean, it
the
doesn't mean.
27th.
Sorry, forgot to check Sunday. I mean, not everybody has to be here.
What about the
True.
Tuesday, the 16th?
Tuesday, the 16th, I'm free. Sam, are you free?
I think so.
Are you free?
Yeah.
That's 3. Kristen, what are you doing on the 16th?
It depends what time.
Paul, what are you
I
doing
don't
on the
know,
16th?
But I'm completely blitzed.
Yeah, you said this is a busy
I've
month.
been really completely blitzed, but my car is gonna be shut down, and it's got some serious problems, and I've started looking at a new car, so what it's gonna happen is, for the next 2 weeks, I'm gonna be wrestling to get this new car and transfer it over and do all the stuff that's necessary. And I also have a lot of field work and 2 other commitments that, in the next 3 weeks, that's not even counting, you know, doing this, thing for, February, right? It's just, including weekdays, and there's no way I can budget to get
Well,
those.
all we need is 4 people to show up, so
Right.
we've got 3.
Well, maybe Deb can, or
Yeah.
I think
How
I
about
can.
Raylene or
How about a
somebody.
Can you meet
6:30?
earlier than 7 though?
Which, 6:30?
Let's see.
You can't do that?
It's just, I've tried to limit how many.
Yeah, I can do 6:30.
I'm looking for a 4th, though.
What about 6
1,
o'clock?
2, 3.
6 would be awesome.
Can you do 6? 6 o'clock
On the 16th,
on the 16th?
it should be able to, yeah.
6? Okay.
And then we'll see who else we can.
Yeah.
Rope in, okay.
I don't have my calendar, so what I'll do is I'll put it in a note.
And I'll send out an email too, to everybody.
Yeah, if you send out an email that you're gonna have it, then
5:16, and we're gonna do all the minutes, and we're gonna do Shea Concrete.
Yeah, so you're gonna send them out to us so we can all look at them
Yeah.
ahead of time. And
And I'll,
send you some edits ahead of time too.
yes, please, please, please. And I
Hey,
thought I'd
it's
send
horrible.
Crystal an email and ask her to help us out with, trail mapping. Do a little leaning on her.
Well, there are 2 kinds of trail mapping that we can do. We can do the kind where we go out and do the mobile mapping with the GPS and make the files and
Yeah,
do that ourselves, but we can also take advantage of what some of the land trusts have with their shape files and
Mhm.
maps and dirt roads, so.
And depending upon what time I get back, I'm on vacation the 15th and 16th, so.
Okay,
I don't know what time I'll be back, if I'll
okay.
like 6 or not. But if you send out the minutes ahead of time, I'll
Mhm.
make edits, and you already have my thoughts on the shade thing, so.
And where would we meet here?
Yeah, Sam will take care of the arrangements and the meeting notice, right?
Yeah, okay, I'll just have to make sure that they don't have any, well, we can, I'll see, we'll find a room if we have to.
We can sit in the hall.
Yeah,
Yeah,
We can go to the library.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, we could go to the library.
as long as they're not busy.
The nice room downstairs.
yeah.
Yeah.
I move we adjourn.
Second.
Moved and seconded that we adjourn, all those in favor?
Aye.
Signify by saying
Aye.
aye.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
It's 9:05 according to the clock. Night, everybody.
Aye.